The folks at Game Freak have at last given us a sequel to their premier full 3D open-world Pokemon experience. But now we trade the low-tech, vast countryside with a small village for a major high-tech city where wild Pokemon can take over city parks and attack people on sight. Let's see what's changed and hopefully improve this sequel called Pokémon Legends ZA for the Nintendo Switch 2. While Legends Arceus was set in the distant past, ZA is set 5 years after Pokemon X and Y. As the protagonist you get to name, you come to Lumiose City and join the citywide Pokemon tournament to climb the ranks from Z all the way to A. Whoever finishes A first gets one wish granted by the city. But you also discover there's a problem in the city with rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon causing mindless destruction, so you've got to calm all those Pokemon down and get to the bottom of what's causing all this. As the game's set in the future but still has the Legends subtitle, it feels familiar to longtime fans of main series Pokemon games while bringing back certain elements of Arceus, both in the story and gameplay. And it's an interesting story to tie everything together, even for all its cheesiness. Visually, ZA shows noticeable improvements over Arceus, with it looking even better on the NS2 as opposed to the Switch 1 version of this game. While it's nothing mind-blowing, the animations are the same with better HD polish and cleaner textures. But the draw distance is better this time, as I didn't see any far-off distant Pokemon moving awkwardly at sluggish frame rates like in Arceus. If you have a choice of which system to buy this on, I do suggest the NS2 version, with it maintaining a consistently smooth 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, while the Switch 1 version of this game caps out at 1080p resolution and 30 frames per second. For better or worse, the sound design is relatively unchanged from Arceus, having text make up for the lack of voice acting, which I fully expected from this game and really don't mind. I also don't mind the cartoony and action-packed sound effects that fill the gameplay because they're still just as good. What I do mind is that Game Freak is still using Bit Crush sounds for all the Pokemon instead of using the anime sounds / voices from the spin-off games. I'm sorry Game Freak, but continuing to use these sounds in any Pokemon game at this late date of 2025 is not nostalgic. It's just lazy and inexcusable. Well, at least there's a good assortment of Pokemon in this city from the 800 plus roster. A better mix than I was expecting from different generations. Inevitably, there will be some Pokemon missing that will disappoint people, but there's still a good selection in here. I was hoping for some more of the Pokemon from Pokken Tournament, but I was happy with the fighting Pokemon and ghost Pokemon I was able to add to my team, including good old Pikachu. Now, aside from some story or side missions, you catch these Pokemon in designated wild zones throughout the city. So there are still areas with wild Pokemon who will either run or attack on sight, much like Arceus. And catching Pokemon presents similar challenges of battling them or sneaking up on them with a Pokeball. But thanks to an algorithm the game uses, certain Pokemon are especially hard to catch even with Ultra Balls. The hardest ones to catch are Alpha Pokemon, which yes, make their return from Arceus, but even the Alphas I was able to catch more than a Scyther, which feels inconsistent. Similarly to Arceus, it's fun to walk around this open world city and see Pokemon and people thrive in it. But this city exploration feels like a natural evolution of the open world design we got in Arceus. This is a city where you can heal your Pokemon at multiple Pokemon centers, buy different clothing items from shops where your characters look, stop for a nice spot of tea with Pikachu, or even chillax on a park bench while your Pokemon hang out with you. You can also go up to the roofs of these buildings to catch more Pokemon and get a good view of the city. This includes having your Pokemon hit spiderweb bundles and blocks of ice to form bridges, plus later you unlock the ability to hover temporarily with your phone. All this increases what you can do with exploring the city, which you'll actually need to do later in the game. It's a great way for this new era of Pokemon games to get deeper with the idea of a Pokemon adventure. At night, a battle zone is activated in the city for you to battle other trainers for points towards a promotion ticket to be later used for a promotion battle. So most of your daytime tasks are about increasing your Pokemon capture count and leveling up your Pokemon for the nightly main event. What kinda cracked me up was that you can sneak attack other trainers to get an advantage. This feels like playing dirty and unsportsmanlike, but some bonus cards actually encourage you to do this. So why not? Surprise!
I was not a sportsmanlike.
While you don't have Pokemon who can give you a ride around the world anymore, you instead get a fast travel system with a lot of discoverable fast travel points. I mean, there's plenty to see as you walk through the city, but it's a nice bit of convenience for impatient people. What also feels more convenient is the transformed battling system, as in it's not turn-based anymore. Instead, you're able to run all around the battle arena with your Pokemon while locking onto the rival Pokemon. Then you can give commands to your Pokemon anytime on the fly. The only thing you have to wait for is for moves to cool down after you use each one. Also, moving around will have your Pokemon move, so you can somewhat have your Pokemon dodge attacks that way. This may be an unpopular opinion to Pokemon purists, but I like this a lot better, to be honest. This battle system feels much more fluid where real-time reactions actually count, so moves that are meant to be defensive seem like they make more of a difference when you're able to time a defensive move as your Pokemon is being attacked. Instead of Agile Style or Strong Style for moves, you can use a move as a plus move. This draws from your Mega Energy, which replenishes over time. In case this is your first time hearing about Mega Evolutions, that's a big part of this game's story, calming down rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon. This means fighting giant Mega versions of them. The rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon battles feel like boss fights with how intense and challenging they are, but when you get your own Mega Evolution Stones, they become another dynamic to intense Pokemon battles with other trainers. To help with all the rogue Pokemon and later battles against more experienced trainers, there are still some old school Pokemon conventions even with them being adjusted for this game, like attaching berries to Pokemon to help them in battle, or changing their moves and evolving them from this menu. So you've got a great collection of ways to be prepared for a good amount of story missions and a wide selection of well-varied side missions. This means a runtime that's long, but not too long. Even after you beat the story mode, there's a lot to do to conquer Lumio City and catch 'em all. Legends ZA also lets players battle and trade online with friends or anyone around the world, including via local wireless play. But instead of traditional one-on-one like I was expecting, it's a 4-person free-for-all, one where players run around a small arena with their Pokemon attacking the other 3 at once and winning points based on which Pokemon gets a knockout first. Even with this change in PvP online play, it's good that they added this as the lack of online play was a big disappointment with Arceus, and I never ran into any lag or connection problems while playing online, which is more good news. This version is available in stores for $70, while the Switch 1 version is available for $60. I do think this is a fantastic game for any Pokemon fan to own on either console, but like I said before, if only for the superior performance, go with the NS2 version. Well, that's my review of Pokemon Legends ZA for the Nintendo Switch 2. To help me produce more videos like this, please support my Patreon page. Special thanks to my current patrons here. Remember that supporting my Patreon gets your name in the credits and access to my main videos a day early. Also be sure to watch my previous reviews of Pokemon Legends Arceus for the Switch and Pokepark for the Wii. See you all next time!